What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Oak Tree Football Channel, and welcome to another NFL 2020 College Football Schedule Breakdown and Record Prediction video. Today, I will be doing last year's NFC Champions, the team that nearly won the Super Bowl but ended up losing, the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were fantastic last year. They were pretty good on offense, but their defense was the main point of that team. All kinds of talent. Nick Bosa was a rookie, fantastic. Richard Sherman at the cornerback, fantastic. It was just fantastic all over the team. So that was really what I think sent the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the offense was good, especially the running game, one of the better running games in the NFL. They are losing Matt Breida, who is now on the Miami Dolphins, from the running game, but they still have some good players there. So it will probably be another good season for the 49ers. Their quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo, who was, of course, the Patriots quarterback, and then moved to the 49ers and has been pretty successful. He wins a lot of games. His stats aren't necessarily the best, but he wins a lot of games. But he is losing his number one receiving target and arguably his number two receiving target. Emmanuel Sanders and Marquise Goodwin are both gone from San Francisco, so that leaves second-year Deebo Samuel to have to step up to become that number one receiver. They also drafted Brandon Ayuk, so it was a pretty good draft for the 49ers, but there are definitely some holes, it's going to be interesting how it plays out for the 49ers. They will still most likely be good, but let's get into it. They went 13-3 last year, lost in the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs, and now into their schedule. They started off with a game against the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals is our team that I expect to be very good this year, but this game is going to be a tough one for them, for the Cardinals. Being on the road in the first game, 49ers are at home, and it's the first game of the season. So I do think the 49ers are the favorite in this one. I do think there's a chance the Cardinals win, but just because the 49ers are at home, just because it's early in the season, I do feel that the 49ers will most likely win. I think we're going to see some good stuff from Kyler Murray this year, along with some other players on the Cardinals, but I just don't think it's going to be great early in the year. I think later in the year is when the Cardinals can be a seriously good team. Week 2, pretty easy game. It's on the road, but it's against the New York Jets. New York Jets are a team I don't expect to be great this season. I mean, they're not usually great, but I feel like there's too many holes on that team, especially at the wide receiver position. I just don't think they're going to be great. They drafted pretty well, but I just don't think that those draft picks are going to be enough to get it done for them this year. And then they play in MetLife Stadium for the second week in a row to play the New York Giants, and they shouldn't have much of a problem here either. Both the teams that play in MetLife Stadium just aren't that great, and they really should be able to beat both these teams. I think it will most likely be a 3-0 start to the season. Week 4, they play the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are my favorite NFL team, and this should be a tough game because I do think the Eagles will be pretty good this year. They're normally good. Obviously, they are not fantastic, but they do make the playoffs. Last year, it was mostly because they were in a bad division, but they do find a way to make it to the playoffs for the past few years. They won the Super Bowl in 2017, of course. I expect the Eagles to be good this year. Bringing in Javon Hargrave from the Pittsburgh Steelers, that was a good move. I think Carson Wentz, if his receivers can stay healthy, Carson Wentz is a very, very good quarterback. Even with his receivers not being healthy, he still is. I feel like Carson Wentz stats go pretty unnoticed, especially last season when he was playing with mostly backups for a lot of the season and still was managed to throw 27 touchdown passes. So I expect that the Eagles to be pretty good this year, especially if they can stay healthy. I just don't know if they'll be able to beat the 49ers. I think it's convenient that this game is earlier in the season for them because there's a better chance that less players will be injured than later in the year. But I feel like being on the 49ers are home team in this one, so I feel like that's really going to be good enough to get them to win. I could see the Eagles winning, but I just think that the 49ers are the better team, and they're at home, so I'm going to take the 49ers. Week 5, they have a game I don't think should be too tough. It's against the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins definitely improved this offseason and will probably be better than last year, but the 49ers are the home team in this one, and just because of that, I am leaning towards the 49ers. If this was a home game for the Dolphins, it would be a lot more interesting. I still think the 49ers would win, but it would be a lot more interesting. But just being a home game for the 49ers, I think the 49ers will be the better team. I expect the Dolphins to be pretty good this year. They have a good coach. They have a good team all around. So I expect them to be pretty good. I just don't think they'll beat the 49ers, especially the 49ers being at home. Week 6, they have a very interesting game. It's against the Rams. We all know that the Rams lost in the Super Bowl a few years ago against the Patriots, and then they missed the playoffs last season. And I just really don't think there's a great future for them. They have some serious trouble with cap space. Really never used their high draft picks. But they got rid of Todd Gurley, who he wasn't great last year, but he has been good in the past. They got rid of him. They got rid of Brandon Cooks, who's been good in the past. Jared Goff isn't the safest bet at quarterback. Sure, he's been okay, but we haven't seen any really, really big signs that he is a great quarterback. He was pretty good the year they went to the Super Bowl, but he has definitely had struggles in the past. And maybe so the Rams and the 49ers obviously play each other twice because they're in the same division. Maybe in the second time these teams play, when the Rams are at home, maybe they have a shot, but I just don't think they'll beat the 49ers when the 49ers are at home. So I think it's a 6-0 start here. Of course, they went undefeated for, I believe, 8 games this past year before losing to the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. And I have them 6-0. And then 7, this is an interesting game. It's at the New England Patriots. The Patriots have lost a lot this offseason. They have lost a lot. Of course, they lost Tom Brady. That was their most important loss. But they've lost a lot more players, and there could be some trouble with them this season. But Bill Belichick is still their coach, and I really do think that they can be pretty good this year still, even without Tom Brady. Personally, I think Jarrett Stidham can be a pretty good quarterback. Some people don't believe that. I think he can be. I think he can be fine this year. So this is going to be an interesting game. Without a doubt, for me, the 49ers are the better team. But will they be able to get it done at Gillette Stadium, of course, in New England? It's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. I am leaning towards the 49ers, but without a doubt, I do think the Patriots could win this one. This is going to be a really fun matchup. I'm really excited for it. If this was a home game for the 49ers, I do think they would win. But this being a home game for the Patriots really changes it up. The Patriots still have talent. I mean, even though they are losing some, they still have talent. Like I said, I think Jarrett Stidham can be good. But I just feel the 49ers are the better team, so I'm going to go with the 49ers. Week 8, they played the Seahawks. Last year, the 49ers had that long undefeated streak to start the season, and then they lost to the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. This one is not, I believe it's not on Monday Night Football, but I think the same thing is going to happen here. I think they will lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Playing in Seattle is just a tough place to play, and maybe there won't be fans in the stands, but I still do think that Seattle will beat the 49ers at least once this season, and because the Seahawks are the home team in this one, I think it will be Seattle. Maybe the 49ers can squeeze out a victory, but I just feel like if obviously they do play them at home, I think that they could definitely beat them at home, but I just feel that being on the road is going to be too much, if I'm honest, and I do think that the Seahawks will be able to get this win. Week 9, they played the Green Bay Packers. Now, they played the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game and had a huge lead and kept that lead for the whole game and were able to get a pretty big win. That was a game that Raheem Mostert had a very good game. So, the Packers, I do feel that the Packers are a bit overrated. I still think they will probably return to the playoffs. I just feel they're a bit overrated in my opinion. So I feel that, the 49ers are the better team. The 49ers are the home team this game as well. I just feel that it makes sense that the 49ers would win in my opinion. Maybe the Packers can squeeze something out, but I just feel that the 49ers are the better team, and I just feel that they will be able to get the win. Week 10 is a very tough game. On the road against the New Orleans Saints. In my opinion, the Saints have one of the best rosters in the NFL. Maybe the Chiefs are definitely better, and then there's only a few other teams that are better than the Saints based on the roster, in my opinion. Obviously, they haven't really been able to win in the playoffs that great, but their roster is just so talented, and I think they're going to be really good this season. And it's going to be tough for the 49ers to come to New Orleans to play the Saints, which is why I am leaning towards the Saints in this one. The Saints are a good team. I could say that they're as good as the 49ers, maybe even better. They're getting Emmanuel Sanders from the 49ers. And I feel that because the Saints are the home team, that's just going to be enough for them to get the win. So I am leaning towards the Saints in this one, especially when you're coming off a tough game against the Packers. I'm going to take the Saints. Then they have their bye week, and then they play the Rams on the road. This is an interesting one because I do expect the Rams to improve this season, but I don't know if they can beat the 49ers. This is going to be an interesting one. I could see it going either way if I'm honest. And I kind of am leaning towards the Rams at the moment because they're the home team. I think the Rams will be pretty good this season. In my opinion, probably 8-8, 7-9, maybe 9-7. I don't think they'll go to the playoffs, but I do think they will be good. So I'm leaning towards the Rams. They still are a good team in my opinion. I don't think they'll win on the road, but when the Rams are at home, maybe they will be able to get the win. So right now I am leaning towards the Rams. Week 13 is a very tough game. It's against the Buffalo Bills, but they are at home for this one, which is why I kind of am leaning towards the 49ers. Bills, without a doubt, are a very good team, will most likely go to the playoffs this year. But in my opinion, just because the 49ers are at home, I just think that will be enough in this game to get the win. Week 14, I see no problem in this one. It's against the Redskins. The Redskins just aren't that good of a football team. We'll probably have a top 5, maybe even top 3 pick of the draft, in my opinion. So I really don't see the 49ers having much of a problem, especially because they're the home team. I think this should be an easy win, in my opinion. And then they have 2 tough ones. It's at the Dallas Cowboys. If this game was at home, I'm taking the 49ers. But, because it's at home for the Cowboys, that really changes things up. It's a pretty historic NFL matchup. 2 pretty historically good NFL teams. I kind of am leaning towards the Cowboys, The Cowboys will definitely improve this year, without a doubt. They will get better. And I feel that because they're at home for this one, I feel the 49ers are going to struggle. I feel if Dak Prescott can become seriously a good quarterback, because he has been good in the past, but he's not in his prime yet. If he can get into his prime this year, the Cowboys can be one of the best teams in the NFL. The receiving core, one of the best in the NFL. The running back, one of the best in the NFL. It's a very good offense. And sure, they lost pieces on their defense, but it's still a very good defense. With Leighton Vander Esch, he's becoming a star in the league. So I expect the Cowboys to be a good team this year, and I think they will beat the 49ers. And then Week 16, they play the Cardinals. And I do think the Cardinals will win this one, Like I said, I think the Cardinals will be very good this season. I think the 49ers will beat them in Week 1 just because the 49ers are at home and the 49ers, it's the first game of the season. This is Week 16 in Arizona, and the 49ers are coming off a tough game. I really think it will be the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are going to be really, really good this season with Kyler Murray, with DeAndre Hopkins coming in, with Larry Fitzgerald. Their offensive line's a question mark, but I think it'll be fine because Kyler can scramble. And then they have pieces on their defense. Their defense needs to improve, but I think it can. Drafting Isaiah Simmons. They have Chandler Jones already. They have Patrick Peterson. It's a good team. It's a very good team. And, Cliff Kingsbury coming in his second year. I think the Cardinals are going to be really good this season. And I think they will win this game because they're at home. And then Week 17, they play a team I had them losing earlier on. It's against the Seahawks. I think they will be able to win this time because the Seahawks are good. I just don't think that they will be able to beat the 49ers at home. So now, as I always do, I will go through each game once again, and I'll give my prediction for who I think will win. I think they'll beat the Cardinals, the Jets, the Giants, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Rams, and the Patriots to have a 7-0 start. I think they'll lose to the Seahawks, though. I think they'll beat the Packers, lose to the Saints, then they're their bye. I think they'll lose to the Rams, beat the Bills, beat the Redskins, lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Cardinals, beat the Seahawks to go 11-1. I do think it will be a step back from last year because they are losing talent, but it will still be a good year in my opinion. So I do think that 11-5, 12-4, maybe 13-3, I think that's a good record range for them. I think they will win double-digit games, probably in my opinion. Maybe they'll dip down to 9 wins, but I don't think that's very likely. That's probably worst-case scenario. It is still a very good team without a doubt, even though they are losing the talent. I expect a great season from them, and I think it'll be 11-1. They are just in such a tough division. The Cardinals, like I said, I think they'll be good this year. The Rams can be good, and the Seahawks, I think, can be good as well. So, all very good teams. Of course, the 49ers are in that division, so I think they're all going to be good. And at the moment, I do have them at 11-1. So those are my thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers. What are your guys' thoughts? Tell me in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, do not forget to leave a like, or if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more daily NFL and college football content. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.